Snurre fjorden en pavailer the Ever gammel nøylig skring on veis til det sopp her. Så resten smørt på en jobb med klostap. No. It's good to know we got a Site 13 okay, Darnell.
Yep.
I couldn't believe what happened. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry for our viewers, you may be receiving this episode from the past. This is actually the future we're in now. This is from the far future of the Discovering SCP main timeline.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, this is going to be like some difficulties were incurred or occurred.
Yeah, go on.
Oh God! So
no,
before we continue 1730
what
and
do you mean,
have
you completed
special...
it already. This is just a broadcast from the future.
Right. Well, what happened was in that timeline. So we've already completed it, but in that timeline there was a delay. And to prevent that delay, after we finished 1730, we created this episode in the future to send back in time to fill in that gap in time you would have had to wait.
Of course, yes.
TLDR, something happened. So this is a filler episode. Yay, filler!
Welcome to the beach episode of Discovering SCP. Darnell, you're splashing water on me.
Tee-hee! I thought it would be so funny. It's cold.
I'll kill you for this. You'll
I'm
drown.
in my swimming trunks. Yeah.
So, we have a filler episode. Will it be any good? Probably not.
No. We're so sorry. We'll try. We'll see if we can't figure out a way to get that episode out there at the week. But
so, Darnell, ask me the questions. We got to act like this is a normal episode, or else the fans will kill us.
How many SCPs do we have today?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SCPs.
Oh, jeez.
All joke SCPs. Wow, we're going straight to the jokes.
This episode's title is comedy.
It's called The Bottom of the Barrel.
And we're scraping
I'd like
it,
to
baby.
apologise to everyone who's ever written a joke SCP. My comments were made in jest, and they were not intended to be a marker of quality or the lack of them.
I'm so scared of backlash. I don't care about your feelings.
You're splashing me again.
Tee-hee. All right, yeah, let's fucking get this on the road.
Okay.
We've literally just become fucking AM radio people. Wow, stinky collar coming in. The sound effects and fucking bullshit.
Stinky caller calling it?
Stinky collar coming in.
Let's get to the first SCP. You keep talking about the stinky caller even though you seem to want to stop.
Sorry. I got
SCP-2000 J. And it's called
what's that?
The Butt Ghost.
The Butt Ghost?
Yeah. Look at the picture.
See, we're starting off with refined tastes.
This one is by Salmon.
It's really
Colbert,
short.
my good friend.
This is so... You just said it was your good friend. I was about to say it was Doug.
Item number SCP-789-J. Object Class FA. Special Containment Procedures. SCP is kept in my toilet and only I can talk to it.
Face in the toilet bowl.
Description. The SCP is a ghost that is a face. It lives in a toilet and it talks to you while you poop.
Oh, so there's a link here. Do we need to read that?
No, we do not. Then when you poop, it goes, "No, stop! Ah!" And then stops because there is poop in its mouth. The SCP travels around in butts. You can only get rid of it by wiping. That is the moral of the story. Sometimes it kills other butts and makes them butts ghosts too. But it's always lonely because it is a butt ghost. Addendum. If you fall in the toilet, it eats your butt. By researcher James, age 11.
Didn't this guy also do the Little Misters?
Hell yeah, this is Mr. Toilet.
This is...
Mr. Flush.
I can't tell if it's by researcher James, age 11.
Well, it is, though. It says.
This is, I can't tell if this is the best SCP or the worst SCP.
Let's discuss how this fits into the universe.
Yes, so Butt Ghost. Has it ever eaten your butt?
We don't know. We've never had it confirmed in any sort of SCP tales or anything that Dr. Clef still has a butt.
See, the funny thing about the Butt Ghost is it does seem like something a child would write, but in the modern day where people talk about things like eating butt, it's also got a different connotation if you think about it that way.
It's very psychosexual.
Yes. So it's almost like a Rorschach test. How you react to the Butt Ghost is it shows your psychology. Do you think of it as innocent, haha, kid prank, or do you think of it as something sexual?
That's a good point. That's a sort of this could very easily work as a normal SCP with just a few grammatical tweaks.
No, it could not.
So if we look at the image, though, you can see the man in the butt ghost who's looking at us from within the toilet's device. You can see he has some kind of facial hair, some bright white facial hair there.
I thought it was the ghost of a butt, so why does it have a face?
No, it's a ghost that is a face if you read the description there.
But it says it kills butts and makes them butt ghosts too.
Well, that's because that's how it travels around in butts.
Okay.
As mentioned in the description. And you can only get rid of it by wiping. But if we look at his face in the toilet and the butt ghost's expression...
It actually looks exactly like Tanhony.
We see that he has a mustache of a bright white bit of facial hair. Can you see that?
It can.
And it sort of plays into that whole Krampus, Father Christmas, Santa Claus sort of archetype there.
Like, he'll leave you toilet presents if you're good?
Well, in this case, it's quite the opposite, because he does not leave you the present of a butt, but rather he relieves you of that posterior.
I don't know what to say.
So it's a kind of interesting inversion of the myth there that researcher James has put together here.
Wow, thank you, researcher James, age 11. This was very cool. It's still better than anything I would write for the wiki, so what do I know?
So
But
what would you rate this out of 10 butts?
Probably toilet out of $10.
I see. And teeth, yes or no?
I'm gonna go with maybe.
You what?
I'm gonna go with maybe.
How can you have maybe teeth? What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Something anomalous.
Answer me!
I don't know.
You're
Aren't people always vague in these articles? That's why they blur everything.
What do you mean?
Like, they add a bunch of censoring so they don't have to...
Not a
Like,
thing.
kind of like...
The book ghost is open to the public. There's not a censor in there. What are you talking about?
This one, no, but SCP
Look at the
in
caption
general.
on the image.
The
book
you want me to say? My mind's in, like, several different places. I don't know what the answer you seek
Okay,
is.
so you've given the incorrect analysis of the SCP. Let's move on to the next one. See if you can understand it.
Wow.
It's clearly a bit too highbrow for you.
The butt ghost, yeah. You know what? That's probably true, actually.
Let's get into it. The next one.
Yes.
SCP-031 J, again by Simon Corbett. He's written a lot of joke SCPs in his day. And
You've written a lot of joke SCPs too, right? Or at least that's how all your SCPs make me feel.
You're a funny guy.
Dan?
SCP-031 J called...
See, look how many censors there are for no reason.
Don't worry about it. So, item number. SCP-031-J. Object class Uselid. Special containment procedure.
I hate that you said useless. That makes me want to vomit.
On October blank, agents will be given an assorted amount of candy and placed strategically...
Oh, is this Halloween?
When approached, agents are to distribute the candy so as to avoid hostilities. Agents are urged to not distribute items pertaining to dental hygiene.
Yeah, this is Halloween. Trick or treat.
Pretty scary, right? Description. The SCP is an event that occurs annually. Analysis of trends have pinpointed the events to fall on October blank. However, minor fluctuations are suspected. The trend of appearance of the event mainly occurs in North America and Western Europe. However, rogue instances...
Oh yeah, do you guys have Halloween where you're at?
Of course we do.
Okay, well, I just asked because I have friends in other countries who don't have Halloweens.
We stole it from its creators.
Or were its creators.
You're not familiar with the history of Halloween?
No, I don't really care enough.
Okay. However, rogue instances of the SCP may manifest in various cities worldwide. At the time
Worldwide? Are you just going to pronounce all the words wrong this episode?
At the time of an SCP event, several instances of -1 will manifest on various city streets. Appearance of instances of the -1 have varied wildly. However, they've been described as mainly grotesque. Documented instances have resembled historical figures, pop culture icons, and occasionally instances of 777J, 1344J, and 2008J.
I'm not going to click those, but I'm going to assume they're popular characters.
Probably, yes. Typically, instances will be much shorter than an average adult, with an average height of 1.4 meters. Instances of -1 will approach households in an ordered fashion and explain blank or blank.
Okay, actually, this is the one article where I like the censorship because it's funny because we know what it is.
The exact meaning of this phrase is unknown.
This deserves an upvote. Am I logged in?
However, researchers have suggested this may indicate that the instances will damage the household or owners unless they are given some form of appeasement. This is verified by the giving of candy to instances of -1, which appears to appease them until the next household.
Damn.
Shorter instances of -1 show a tendency to place various adult humans in a trance state. Subjects act with a spirit of benevolence towards instances and will fiercely defend instances in case of attack. Footnotes.
They try to attack the
This
children.
has made retrieval of instances of -1 difficult.
Please.
031 also has several other effects. Adolescents, especially males, show a marked tendency to vandalize households through creative uses of toilet paper. You can't do that! That's a precious good!
Yeah, you can't. Not today with coronavirus. I don't know why the fucking scolding voice always has to be like me being super British.
Because that's the voice of authority to you. Because you're American.
That's just me mimicking you, and I guess you're British. I don't know.
It's because deep in your American heritage, you realise that I should be in charge.
Really?
Yeah.
You lost to a bunch of dudes wearing potato sacks.
We got bored and went home.
Pretty much.
Pumpkins displaying faces of varying delight and malevolence appear on the doorsteps of households.
No, please.
A transformation of various households into what researchers have described as terrifying.
Is that, what are they called? Haunted houses?
Normal households may gain cobwebs, graves, whisk brooms, and animate humanoid corpses. Corpses do not appear capable of full locomotion along their exterior. Larger instances of -1 showing signs of inebriation.
Oh.
Interview log. Interviewer, Dr. Tanhony.
Dr. Halloween.
I'll be Dr. Tanhony. Interviewed. Instance of -1. But this instance of -1 was quickly intercepted by Dr. Blank during an SCP-031 event. The instance was quickly interviewed before hostilities emerged. Hello.
Hello!
What? What are you?
I'm a ghost!
You're a departed spirit?
No, I'm a ghost! Ooga booga booga!
No possible hostility. I mean, are you dead?
Dead?
Yes, were you formerly a dead person?
No, I'm just...
Shit! It's hostile! Run! Smaller instances appear to be more aggressive. Dr. Tanhony. Interview log 2. Interviewer, Dr. Tanhony. Interviewed. Larger instances of -1. Background.
Oh.
This instance was approached following its liberal use of toilet paper on a vehicle. Why have you decorated that vehicle in such an odd way?
Who the fuck are you?
Does it appease your god?
What? No. You aren't going to call the cops, are you?
No, we will not. Now, what are you?
I'm Hugh Hefner. What does it look like?
My research team has just checked. Hugh Hefner is currently in his mansion in Beep!
Are you retarded or something? Look, I've got the pipe and the robe.
My god! Third log. Possible case of bilocation. Further research is required. Dr. Tanhony.
These shitty adults.
For real?
For real?
What
you
do
think
of
I'm
this
an
one?
actual SCP for real?
What do you think of this one?
That's probably.
I don't really see how this is a joke, because if you just
I'm gonna say that's.
I think,
I'm gonna say this is probably a fun-sized Reese's cup out of M&Ms.
So I see you're going to completely avoid giving any opinion here.
What? No, I'm saying it's really good.
Oh,
Fun-sized Reese's compared to a thing of M&Ms. Yeah. You know how big a fun-sized Reese's is? Or is it fun-sized Hershey?
I don't know. We have food here in the UK.
Oh, fun size is fun size is American for this is way more than someone should eat on their own. It's just the bigger size of a candy.
I feel like there's an issue with the wording here that
Yeah.
incentivizes overeating.
Yeah, I'm being completely serious. It's like they take a candy and then they just make the bar or like the form of it way larger and they call it fun size. Look it up.
It's fun at the time, maybe, but not when you're standing on the scales.
Not 20 years down the line, when you're obese and have stretch marks. Wow, this got dark.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, this is what happens
about
when
the next
we
day?
read funny articles. When we're reading normal ones, we can't stop yucking it up. But the joke articles, suddenly we're talking about America's obesity crisis.
It's the same exact. What's the word I'm looking for? It's the same exact thing as like in D&D when the joke character turns out serious and you make your serious character and they just become a joke because you just get tired of the way you're doing. Yeah, Chongle Man, he's perfect.
Yeah,
and yeah.
So we have
what is
another
the third
article.
one?
The third one.
We've not been recording long. We're so fucked.
We'll fill the rest of the time somehow. We'll think of something. SCP
I'm so sorry, viewers.
2000 J. This one is called Donkey the Funky Workat 2000. Workat
Is this like video game Donkey?
And this is by Samuel Corbet and Tanhony. It's a collaboration.
What's this called?
You're going to make me fucking say it again. Donkey the Funky Workat 2000 : Workat Strikes Back.
Can you say that one more time?
Donkey the Funky Workout 2000 : Workout Strikes Back. You used to make me say it
And you
again.
made
You're off
this
the
with
podcast.
Salmon? Are these all Salmon's SCPs?
No, these first three are, and this one was a collab with me.
Yeah. Well, so I know all the bad parts are your fault.
Okay, so you're getting real fucking cheeky now that we're reading out joke articles.
I can't tell if you're actually mad at me or not. Oh, I'm scared.
SCP-2000 J. Object Class. Uselid. Special Containment Procedures. This one bit's crossed out. SCP-2000 J is currently being housed at Dr. Blank's household, who had originally offered the 2000 housing off the streets. No. Footnote, this was a highly unexpected action, as Dr. Blank was well known for his negative personality. Possible psychic effects by SCP-2000 J have been brought under suspicion. However, some point to the similarities between Dr. Blank's younger self and SCP-2000 J.
Is this his son?
No. SCP-2000 J is now being hosted by Agent Blank, who is currently going to college. Considerations to place the 2000 J onto MTF Zeta 0. I don't know what this is. I think this was added later on. I didn't put that in.
Also, side note, every time you pronounce an object class incorrectly, you push me closer to alcoholism.
What's the plan?
That's the master plan.
That's for the special, the 500 sub special. We need you up drunk.
The 500 sub special requires me to spiral.
Description. SCP-2000 J is a Caucasian male, approximately 18 years of age, with the ability to transform into a common house cat upon the beginning of any sport he participates in.
This is a sport team mascot.
Yeah, well,
I like this. I don't think all J's are like this because we read some J's before. But yeah, remember when we did like the Flat Earth one? But
that wasn't a J.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay, well, never mind then. I don't know if all J's are like this, but I really like this format of like it's a normal thing, but it's like being misinterpreted as anomalous. I like that format a lot.
How is this normal? What do you mean?
Oh, right, of course.
In spite of his apparent lack of height or hands, he shows exemplary ability at any athletics when in a transformed state. So this isn't a mascot. This is a movie where the cat can play football or something.
It's probably just switching in a fucking action. What's it called? You know what I mean?
The guy who does those kind of movies where there's no rule that says a dog can't play basketball. That's what this is meant to be.
What? No, I thought this was like he was the mascot because the mascot
plays.
What?
SCP-2000 J appears to have an odd mimetic effect upon regulators of any sport, causing apathy towards his lack of qualifications to play in his current state. Typically, regulators will cite a lack of regulation towards disallowing animals from participating.
Are you fucking kidding me?
SCP-2000...
So it's like Air Bud?
Yeah, basically. SCP-2000 J also appears to increase the morale of any team he participates in, regardless of actual
But he's an
performance.
18-year-old Caucasian male.
Because he transforms into a cat at the beginning of the sport he participates in.
Why?
2000 seems to be able to perform reality manipulation, causing him to always be able to perform the last goal, basket, run, strike, or catch during a tie in the game. Although randomized, during tournaments, any team that J participates in will be able to play into the finals, and the final team will always be the previous championship team. As well, previously undiscovered conflicts between members of both teams will arise during the match and will become resolved positively. See Incident 2021, where Agent Blank coached 2000 defeated the opposing team from the Chaos Insurgency.
Chaos Insurgency!
Which was coached...
That's like a demonic invasion.
No, that's an actual thing. We'll get to them one day, maybe. Which was coached by Agent Blank's older and more skilled brother. Agent Blank's brother had previously defeated Agent Blank in a championship game in 1988 and permanently injured him, preventing him from playing. The agent and his brother instead embraced each other at the end of the game and had a barbecue.
So this is kind of like memed after movies in this style, right?
Yeah.
This kind of makes me want to see like a High School Musical type joke SCP where like everyone has to break into song when they get overcome with emotion. To spontaneously create a song.
Okay, let's get into the addendums, which I'm pretty sure I wrote the majority of here.
Oh god. Wow, way to brag.
Addendum 1. SCP-2000 J recently requested that Agent Blank become romantically involved with it. Agent Blank denied this request as she's currently in a steady relationship with the leader of Mobile Task Force Zeta 9, the Docs.
Please. Oh my god, that's good. You wrote these?
Yeah, Addendum 2. Due to SCP-2000's difficulties in interacting with female staff members and physical abuse by several humanoid SCPs...
I assume that's when they beat up the kid for being a nerd or whatever.
Yeah. The decision has been made to insert -J into the Foundation's basketball team in hopes of finally winning against the Global Occult Coalition. Addendum 3. SCP has recently assembled an improved team to represent the Foundation, consisting of several researchers, agents, and humanoid SCPs.
So dumb.
4. On blank blank 20 blank, SCP-2000...
Wait, hold on. There are like 4 blanks after that 20. How far in the future
part
are
of
we?
the canon. SCP-2000 approached Dr. Blank, requesting that he join Athletic Task Force Alpha 11. Due to Dr. Blank's unpleasant history involving the game, he refused, advising the SCP to cease playing basketball before
it's like the coach that says give it up, kid, because something happened in his past.
Yeah. Addendum 5. The Foundation GOC annual basketball tournament is currently underway. Updates are pending. 6. Astonishingly, Dr. Blank has attended the game and is assisting Athletic Task Force Alpha 11. SCP-2000 appears to register satisfaction at its development. 7. One of the members of the GOC team has terminated Dr. Blank with a concealed pistol.
No!
The GOC player has been removed from the game by Assistant Referee Blank. During the mid-game break, SCP-2000 expressed determination to win the game.
This bastard.
8. SCP-2000 J has gained possession of the ball and is rapidly approaching the GOC hoop. And yes! He made the shot! Yes!
He did it! Finally!
9. He is currently in a steady bit relationship with Agent Blank.
Is that the girl that was with the jocks earlier?
Termination of Agent Blank for unprofessional behaviour is under consideration. Addendum 10.
Marshall Carter and Dark.
So we'll get to them one day as well. They're like the 1%. Was approached by Marshall Carter and Dark operatives for a deal for him to lose the next game in exchange for monetary rewards. He initially refused. However, the operatives then threatened Agent Blank's safety. SCP-2000 proceeded to perform poorly in the next game until Agent Blank escaped and cheered him on.
So dumb.
I remember having a lot of fun writing this.
This was really, this is probably my favorite joke one so far. That's fucking hilarious. What spawned this? Did you or Salman watch one of these movies recently?
I think Salman wanted to write one about this already, and I thought it'd be fucking funny to have the breakdown of the addendums of the movie.
Alrighty.
Right.
So what do we have next?
What would you give this out of whatever metric you've come up with?
I'm gonna give this Air Bud out of Cool Cat.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's alright.
Okay. Well, it's time for SCP-J, and this one's by Pepper's Ghost, and it's called.
What's SCP-J?
It's called. It's SCP-J. It's by Pepper's Ghost, and it's called "The Subject Is Aware."
I like Pepper's Ghost. We've read some of their stuff before, right?
Yeah. Well, we have a serious note here at the top. So the following article was generated by loading 3,000 plus SCPs into the Botnik Predictive Keyboard app. Aside from some minor formatting edits, everything presented below is taken verbatim from the results.
Oh boy.
Let's get into it. Item number, SCP-3004. Object class.
It changes every time!
Object class, Euclid safe. Special containment procedures. The searches are not optional. Information pertaining to SCP-3003 is to be suppressed until confirmation of the epicenditis diagnosis.
Appendicitis?
Appendicitis diagnosis.
Blood.
Individuals exposed to SCP-3505 must be administered Class B amnestics and repurposed as the feast.
You know what's funny about this? Just at basis, I mean, this is funny to read on its own, but you could argue that this could be a legit SCP under that surrealistics department.
Yeah.
And it's just an SCP that's constantly changing, so that's why they keep changing their description.
I love that fucking line. Individuals exposed to the SCP-3505 must be administered Class B amnestics and repurposed
as the feast.
This is what happens.
Sounds like something you do for the deer.
In order to ensure that no members of the public...
And you can't repurpose our viewers as the feast.
In order to ensure that no members of the public are able to view SCP-3006, it must have written permission from Site-28 Roger
to take over the
Gulf of Mexico. We're giving it permission. Procedure Lambda Manos is to remain constantly monitored for possible issues with the following. Breakfast sensation.
Oh, dude, I hate when I get a breakfast sensation.
Initiating flight path through the skin layer. Ooh, that's nasty. Silly Crab Productions. SCP!
He activated the crab! He did it!
Silly Crab Productions! SCP! That's what it stands for!
Holy shit, we've blown this thing wide open. This is the part where the guys in suits come in and shoot us twice in the back of the head.
Agent Cooper's sexual education. Hey, that's Twin Peaks. Facility Director Shirley Gillespie.
Why do you keep saying Twin Peaks like I've seen that show?
Facility Director Shirley Gillespie and the smell her body is wrapped in. Dr. Oswald is currently available for further details.
Oh, there's a footnote. I can't believe it knew how to do that.
Dr. Oswald was a baked man, known to have one or more edible forms. Following his consumption in front of his wife and children, the Foundation discovered that harvesting plant tissue removed from its brethren has been a useful resource. Interesting.
Deceased relatives are no,
no help. Description. SCP-3004 refers to a 2-kilometre square area of landmass deep in ape corpses.
3004 is the first time the same number's been used. That was the item number.
That must be the real one. It refers to a 2-kilometre square area of landmass deep in ape corpses piled outside Mongolia. A single living instance is currently believed to absorb nutrients directly from a sock full of dead insects and pigeons. Within SCP-3007, no specimen of Balaenoptera, another placental mammal, has also been found in a location other than cloud types. That's very strange they didn't find more of those.
Yeah.
This is my favourite line. Protruding from SCP-1762 is a male humanoid figure approximately 5 corpses tall.
Do they mean by corpses like horizontal because they're buried?
I love corpses as a figure of measurement. This is a fucking like terrifying image though. Still, a male humanoid figure jutting out of a landmass of ape corpses.
So it's begun.
The subject is able to exert an extreme amount of food products filled with spherical members from its body.
Oh, it's cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Further investigation revealed the composition of its body to be an infinitely special holiday stuff.
This is strictly limited to researchers who wish to be held.
When questioned, the subject reported itself to be made of softened materials incapable of being communist.
Oh, good.
Interesting. SCP-3007 has been found to produce fragrance with its corpse creatures. Clinging to the top layer is a very slight minty smell, thought to originate from further beneath the shroud. That actually just like makes sense there. That's an actual sentence. Addendum. SCP-2282 was discovered after reports of males becoming inexplicably harmless people were recovered. All personnel assigned to SCP-2003 have been found completely emptied of contents. No! I'm so hollow, 051.
Oh my god, they're Dark Souls hollows.
Removing their dead bodies started feeling kind of formal, and the smell was later described as crispy sex pirates.
Of course.
Agent Maxwell lost some vital minutes before abandoning flesh itself.
Yeah, I love this is probably the only SCP ever where the script solely has to do with 2 fucking researchers.
You mean Dr. Oswald.
Alright, I want to talk to you directly into the transcript.
Copy that. What makes sense to you is worthless to me. Father wanted a fresh source of noise, and we wanted a good time. All the memories I've written on the back of his skin have become a single footnote in his head.
Why do you still have anything to do with the face protruding from behind me?
I was pretty much the only Foundation personnel in the area. You can sort of catch glimpses of other FCPs, it feels like, in this.
Yeah!
No more perpetual snake species! Snake!
No! For those of you who don't know, there's a gaming video coming out that won't come out until after this video does.
This is foreshadowing.
Yeah, this is foreshadowing for the... Get ready for that gamer video.
Apart from my mouth, the whole world felt alien. That's a pretty good line, actually. Damn. The effect had turned my hand to a skeletal golem.
No!
The place probably spread beyond its body and watched as I cried. All I could think was, this asshole killed my fucking sass threshold.
That's the final line. That's actually really fucking funny. Normally I hate like when people are like, look at the thing I just put in the AI, look, it's so funny and random, but this was actually really funny.
Okay.
Probably because they put in such a high volume of examples that they were like tropes peeking out.
So yeah, what do you think of this one? So we need to sort of keep this going.
To
give your opinion in depth.
I'll never forget the smell of crispy sex pirates.
Me neither.
But if I had to rate it, I would rate it SCP-3004 out of SCP-1762.
Well, it breaks the scales.
Yeah.
So, we're half an hour in. We have 1 SCP left. It is not going to
fill 30 minutes. We're only a half hour in.
We are, yes.
I'm so sorry, guys. We're going to try to get a fucking episode out this week. If hopefully before next Saturday comes. We're so sorry.
So here we are. How this SCP J.
Yeah, SCP.
This was by CWW.
This is the worst last one you could have picked.
Don't worry, we're going to...
giving it an up. I already read it.
Item number, SCP-J, object class blank. Special containment procedures, in a box in my office. Description, it's a rock that makes you procrastinate. Addendum, probably mimetic or something. I'll finish writing this up later. Dr. Vang.
Wow, hey, this rock is the reason why we didn't record till Friday.
This is so me!
OMG, it's so me in school!
What do you think? You can give this one a rating later if you want.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling out of it. I'm gonna give this one __ face out of whatevs.
Nice one. You showed it. You showed them.
I sure did.
Okay, we get.
Wow,
so
is there anything we can do?
We gotta spend some time in the fucking zones in the corners. Right, well, let's get into...
Oh, God, this is the worst episode
so
we've
I'm
ever
be looking at
This shouldn't even count as the next episode 28. This should be like 27.5. They do fucking anime, or manga, I mean.
The recap episode. Well, okay, what do we do with the comment corner on the last episode? We'll do a recap.
Yeah, let's do that. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. That's really funny.
Okay, but first I'll go through the comments on the last video.
Yeah, and by the way, assuming nothing goes crazy next time, if you want to ask questions of our guest, post them in the comments of this episode.
Okay, so let's get into it. The comment corner.
Yeah, there were some good ones I saw.
I am doing the jingle.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Tanhony, you have a comment on the line. Thank you, Margaret. Let's get to it.
Who the fuck is Margaret?
Don't worry about her.
All right, I've got the YouTube open for the video so I can see them too in case.
Stanley says, please at some point introduce Darnell to the Stealing Solidarity Cannon or SCP-2085. I think he'd really get a kick out of them. I myself aren't that familiar with the Stealing Solidarity, so when you check that out, that'll be both our first reads.
Yes. Finally, Darnell introduced to the Stealing Solidarity Cannon.
So, Daniel... Is that game? Is that how I pronounce it? Probably not. If you want some short SCPs when you finish 1730, way ahead of you, my man.
You might want to read that rock.
You might want to read SCP-2020. It's pretty simple, but pretty good overall.
I feel like 2020 is the most cursed number you could have given us right now.
Yeah.
But have you read it, Tan?
I don't think so. So, Boris WW. All this time,
yes!
All this
Can we
time,
do the Boris WW jingle?
Oh, yeah, sure. There's only one jingle, I've realised.
It's Boris WW! Coming for you! Got a special role in our server!
All this time I was wondering how Laugh is Fun is connected to Site 13. You have fooled me, Tanhony. How dare you?
Oh, can I play as Tanhony?
Yeah, sure.
Tanhony replied, it amused me.
Comedy Man Kelp says, I cannot wait to see Darnell's reaction to all the crazy shit that happens in the ending. He is not ready for what's to happen. You weren't ready, were you?
Yeah, you weren't ready for fucking this awful episode.
Yeah. Hunter Stadapora says, I warned them. SCP-1730 is too big for a reading. Edit. And they're reading comments now. Too bad that's not the same as...
Why did they put like an edit heading like it's Reddit? You could have just added it. I guess they wanted us to know, like, not think that they, like, scammed us into adding something.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So,
I'll play the role of Tanhony. The hubris of Tan.
I have to say, partly the reason why I started doing the Lab and Site 13 reading is because I was told that I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So,
honestly,
the last few episodes have been born from spite.
Honestly, though, if we actually get through it, it's going to be a really cool thing, because I don't know if anyone else has read the whole thing through without, like, summarizing it.
They have.
Maybe. They have?
Yeah, they have.
Oh, you told me we were original.
So,
all right, do you want to be Hunter's Path before again?
You had to have known what you were getting yourself into. After all, you're reading articles that you believe Darnell would enjoy, right?
He doesn't give a fuck if I like them or not. This is just Tanhony throws SCPs at me and I get... Yeah, it's not hell. I'm having fun, but it's not. There's definitely.
Well, let me make some adjustments.
There's definitely no consideration for my entertainment. I'll say that much.
If you complete part 3 and Darnell was sat as part 3, then congratulations, you completely read SCP-1730 and it was worth it, even if it consumed multiple hour-long weekly videos.
I'm sensing a little bit of spite, just a little
bit.
Bit.
Here.
But
have some pepper.
Yeah.
Log says, stupid question incoming. Is Darnell Chinese? Are you Chinese?
Oh, always have been. No, I'm not Chinese. No, I am. I don't want to divulge. I'm white. That's all that matters. I don't need to go into the million tiny variations.
A white
but
guy?
I don't want to be any more.
I know you.
I don't want to be like specific, but yes, I'm white. I'm not Chinese. I don't know why you thought that, but
Log, please comment. What did you mean?
I'm genuinely interested. Like, I'm obviously not insulted or anything. I'm just curious. Like, do I sound Chinese? Is it because I keep saying weeb words? That's probably it. Which is that's Japanese, but we keep saying the fucking anime words. Dan?
Yeah.
Why did you say wait?
Wait, I'm confused. But why would he then think you're Chinese?
Well, maybe he doesn't know the difference between Chinese and Japanese. That's the only thing I can think of.
I'm sorry, we're kind of speculating on your character here. You just posted a nice comment on our video. We're fucking. Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to say this in a bad. I'm just curious why he thought that. I'm trying to come up with solutions.
Love You says, in before they immediately followed this SCP with Montauk House or Ouroboros Cycle. No.
I don't know what either of those are, but they both sound menacing, like Endgame bosses.
Those are the Endgame bosses of SCP readings.
When did we get to the bird that destroyed the world that you made a joke about, like at the very beginning of the podcast?
I am the bird.
No, please.
I destroyed the world and replaced it with Tanhony Tower.
The last comment that wasn't from a spam bot is my
Network
favorite.
Says SCP go brrrr.
SCP go brrrr.
And Sherry, my friend
Sherry
that's
a spam bot.
232. I like that.
And a bunch of emojis.
Oh.
Stop making
let me see what SCP-232 was. What, 232?
Like a doctor who was like...
Oh, it's when you're talking. What the fuck? Disgusting.
We should have, as a comedy joke, done this whole episode in ASMR.
You want me to try it?
No, again? We just went through
I love you.
already. Ice Teru. That one's for our 5 ReZero fans.
You 5? You think we have 1?
Oh. If anyone here's a ReZero fan, comment below.
Comment Ice Teru.
Comment Ice Teru.
We're only 36 minutes in. We need more filler. We need to do something.
We said we were going to recap the entire series, right?
Go on. Don't check anything. Just tell me what's happened so far.
Right. So, session 1 or episode 1.
Hold on. Recap corner. Recap zone even.
Yeah.
So you finally arrived at my home.
Yeah.
The recap zone.
If we had more than a day and had more free time in general, this would be where Tanhony edits in the best clips from each episode. But we're just going to talk about them because we don't have those things.
Yeah, we're not going to check either, so more of this is going to be true. Darnell, tell us what's happened so far.
All right, so in episode 1, we read the mission statement thing of SCP, and we went over Peanut, we went over the stairs, and like some sort of anti-memetic thing that you couldn't remember after looking at it.
SCP-55.
Yes, and
only I can remember it.
The most memorable part of episode 1 was the creation of Dr. Tanhony, a sadistic doctor who did not care for his D-class subjects' well-being.
Actively was against it.
Yes. Hang on, let me actually go to our channel so I can scroll through the titles to quickly jot my memory. So going on to episode 2, we had Peace, and I don't remember anything from that episode.
So don't bother that. Next one.
The next one was episode 3, This Bird's Gonna Eat the World. That's the most memorable because we went over like the pen and some other stuff, but that's when we met my waifu, Cassie. The SCP that's a drawing that can interact with things, and that's apparently the O5's top priority. Then we did You Did What? And I don't remember that, but that title's menacing. Then Darnell Wins the Oscar was episode 5. That's when we went over the Church of the Broken God, and I delivered that epic voice acting for a dude breaking down. People doubt in my ability. I'm not a pro voice actor or anything, but I do, I've been practicing for D&D and stuff. So I got some skills. Then we have episode 6. Is that when we had like the weird dog things?
Yeah.
Was that our 2-parter? That and Peanut Butter Funny?
I'm gonna be honest, I remember nothing that's happened. Like
there was one of these where there were like 2 parts, and they were both the scary monsters.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was that one.
Agent Michael's Bizarre Adventure and Peanut Butter Funny.
And Agent Michaels, you remember, was Tan's character, who goes like
The
this.
worst character in the Discovering SCP franchise. I'm going to reveal some stuff now because we're doing a filler episode. I might as well. I'm not going to get a better chance. Agent Michaels is dead.
No!
He was killed in Site-13.
I cast Revivify!
You can't. He's been dead for 10 years.
Well, what about that machine that can make clones of anyone?
You can't. His DNA was scrubbed.
Me trying to find a way why the cleric can't bring back the important NPC. He died special.
He's mega
then I don't remember anything specifically from Peanut Butter Funny. I just remember those two were like our monster episodes. Animal Crossing was funny. The only SCP...
I remember because we got a lot of viewership because we called it Animal Crossing.
Yeah, just because we named it. Same thing happened when we named one of them after Stardust Crusaders. We got more. So the moral of the story is we should start naming our episodes after popular series, which makes me think we should just title this episode ReZero with no context.
No, well, then what's the biggest thing out right now? Let's call it like Avengers Endgame.
Sure, call it that. And Animal Crossing...
Going to be what happened to Site-13 Part 1? What happened to Site-13 Part 2? Avengers Endgame.
I think the only one I remember concretely from Episode 8, and the reason we called it Animal Crossing, was there was that tower that like took in animals and made them human-y.
Oh,
and they like
sick Tower of Babel.
Yeah. And then Episode 9, all I remember is at the end, I was like, Tan, you never let me name the episode, so name this one after me. He's like, what do you want? And I was like, fuck, That was the name of that episode. I don't remember anything about episode 10, Take Him Away. I don't remember anything about episode 11.
That was when we read the tales.
Oh, yeah!
Look how Mariana long these episodes are, an hour. We'll never reach such lengths.
Then 11 was Tanhony's Treehouse of Terror. I don't remember that too well.
I just told you it was the tales.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Take Him Away. Sorry. I remember 12. That one's called Bible Studies. I think that's when we went over like Cain and Abel and the camera girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is super anime. Now Kill Hell 2, Now It's Hell. I don't remember, but that's my favorite title. Oh yeah, I really liked that game, and it like kept getting harder the more you played. Yeah. And it was interesting to me because it was the first SCP that doesn't like really hurt the user. It was just like a hard video game.
Killed him.
Yeah, well, that guy was an exception. There, you can do that to normal video games too. Then there was Crab Activated, which I think is when we went over the 001 proposals.
Yeah, the
right?
Angel.
I have no clue why we named this one Stardust Crusaders, but it got an even bigger bump.
Because we went around the world, the international...
oh, yeah! And we did the Flat Earth one, and we did that Spanish one that was based on the Fifth Church.
Yeah, the Flat Earth one you apparently thought was a joke SCP until now.
Well, I thought it was, because you told me it was.
No, I didn't.
You remember it had, like, the fucking Facebook for evil organizations? And I was losing my mind.
I never said it was a joke one. You're gaslighting me.
I'm not trying... Okay. All right. Well,
Spooky
next
Nuki.
we have Spooky Nuki. I remember that one was named after, I think, Roger's Nuke SCP. That one had a lot to do with...
there was a Cold War.
Yeah, those were the Cold War ones. That was probably my least favorite episode. It was still all right, but I didn't really like many of those. There was one cool one that was like a robot with a baby, and they like wired the satellite weird. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I liked the Dead Hand one that we did that one as well, where it was like a ghost that operated nukes.
Yeah, that one was all right. Then we had Big Boris Hours, and that one was memorable because we had our favorite guy of all time, Boris WW. The only SCP I remember from it was the one where you killed the puppies.
I remember that you casually revealed that you had formed a tulpa during that episode.
I had what?
You had formed a tulpa, you told me?
Oh, that was...
Myself and
I
Boris?
probably hadn't, actually. That was a very cringe moment in my youth. I wanted a tulpa, so I tried...
When you created Fluttershy from MLP?
No, I did not do that. I was not that bad. Mine in my head was like that, or at least that I thought I made. Because I don't think it was real. No, it was just like a silhouette.
Luigi?
It wasn't... I wish it was Luigi.
Luigi's silhouette, like against the wall.
Imagine just a smashed silhouette. Luigi's joining the battle.
When you wake up, that's what you say.
That was a very cringe moment of my youth. But you know what? I'm not afraid to admit. I think everyone has embarrassing memories.
Yeah, and you immortalized it in one episode of the podcast, and I just re-immortalized it in this episode.
Yeah. Tanhony makes fun of me for it, but I'm not afraid. Tanhony keeps everything a secret, and I respect that. But he's a very secretive man. I'd be surprised. I think for episode 100, you should reveal an embarrassing secret.
I'll do it right now.
Okay. If you say being my friend, I'm going to cry.
Oh, shit, I didn't think of a secret before that came out of my mouth. Okay, I'm going to tell Because for content, because we need some content, I'll answer 3 questions. 2 questions, actually.
What's your most embarrassing memory that's something you can talk about? Like, something not illegal or sexual. What's your most embarrassing memory? I
once ran over my own head with a bicycle and thought I was going to die and cried about it.
What?
I was putting a bike up a hill and I tripped and then it hit me in the head and I thought I was inches from death.
No.
I remember because my friend was walking back, I was going, I don't want to die.
All right, here's the real cringe question. What's the lamest thing you ever got mad at your parents for as a kid? That might be too abstract. I can think of a different one.
I'm not really that lame, so.
Okay. All right. What was the cringiest thing you did when you were in middle or high school that you look back at now and it keeps you awake at night?
Oh dear.
That's so easy, huh? And I did it. So now you have more respect for me. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh dear me.
You don't have to. I just want you to respect what I did when I mentioned the tulpa thing.
I'm going to pass on it. Can you ask me a different question too?
Okay.
I remember. Actually, I've got one. So I was very bad at French in school. I don't know if I've told you this previously.
I don't think
but
so.
basically, how our French worked in high school was that the sort of class you were in for French was dependent on the class you were in for English. So I was very good at English, but I was shit. So
you were in
French.
a very good French class.
But I was shit at French was the thing. So for the final test, it was a conversation, and I completely forgot the word for anything, and I was just saying hamburger in a French accent. I went hamburger.
Wasn't that a joke? Wasn't that like a Pink Panther bit or something?
But it was with limitless confidence. Hamburger.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Back to the recap. We had episode 18, Here Be Dragons. All I remember from that one is obviously Here Be Dragons, and I remember almost crying. That one was pretty rough. Episode 19, Tanhony destroys his throat. I don't remember that at all.
I must have destroyed my throat.
Yeah, we probably did some crazy voice. You might have brought... Is that the one you brought? Oh, no, that one's called The Dreaded Return. Then episode 20 was Bites the Dust. That probably had an SCP that had to do with time. Was that the one? That was... Yeah, the time one.
No, SCP-2000. It was the cloning.
Yeah, well, that's the one that makes clones that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Sending Our Love Down the Well, that's when Tanhony fucked up the audio, so my mic was really quiet.
When Darnell fell in a well, ruining the podcast.
Yeah, so that was annoying. I don't remember anything specifically about that.
We're actually doing a recap episode.
We literally have nothing to provide for the audience this week because of unforeseen circumstances.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. They love it.
We have real true history, which I think was the Alligata stuff. I don't remember.
That was.
Okay, then we had Art Zone, and the most memorable thing is that's when our art contest ended, and we went over the people who entered. That was Cizik, Love You, Lost Network, and Luxpsycho, and we briefly showed the art for a little bit, and we announced the winner. That was Luxpsycho. That was fun.
If only we had saved that for now.
We had the dreaded return of Agent Michaels. All I remember is that Agent Michaels came back.
Wasn't that?
You'll learn that what?
Wasn't that the world where everyone was dead?
What was it? I don't remember.
You'll
learn that I have a really bad memory.
This is why we're getting you to do a recap, because I want to see this bizarro version that has formed in your hippocampus.
These last 3 ones I remember only because we've talked about them a bunch, and they're all connected.
And they're all very recent.
25 was Josie the Half Cat, Bob, Laugh is Fun, and the deer, the ritualistic deer. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, this one's really cool. And Tan's like, this is one of my favorites, and he told me about how it's like his furry OC.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That never happened.
Yeah, you were like, OMG, sometimes I wish I was that SCP. And
you're lucky I can't delete this from the podcast because we need the airtime.
Then the last 2 episodes were just us going through 1730, the longest SCP.
The most SCP ever.
The most. It's got all of them, ladies and gentlemen.
Fucking Infinity War is the greatest crossover of all time. Yeah, right.
The most SCP 5000.
Fucking Bubbles standing there like SCPs.
I
assemble.
I haven't read 5000 yet because I'm not allowed to, because that's going to come in the future. But from what I've heard, it's basically just the Infinity War of SCPs because it cross-references like 8 million other SCPs. Is that correct?
Well, there's a story to it as well, but...
All right. Hang on.
Oh no, we actually run out of content.
Now we talked about aetheral space. No.
No. Although, if you are interested in aetheral space, there is always a link down below. Darnell's here messaging me on Discord trying to be stealthy, but he does not realise that I have notifications on because I forgot to turn them off.
All right.
Well, here we are again, dear listeners. We are 49 minutes in.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is our limit.
Awful episode.
Well, we just spent the last 10 minutes talking about our thoughts on ReZero.
Have you seen the latest episode?
I did. Should we talk about it?
I don't think we should talk about the latest episode in an audience where it's likely that we will spoil the majority of the series for everyone. I will
Perhaps
say,
we can talk about. Yeah,
I thought it was good.
I thought it was really good too.
Okay, maybe let's not say really because that gives a little bit too much away.
Okay. All I can say.
My eyes light looking at the video.
Oh my god! Whoa, Tanhony, that implies that the visuals were good.
I experienced the content well.
Whoa, so you're saying it was easy to understand, and I don't know. I think you're just kind of ruining it for people. Maybe we should talk about an older anime that we don't feel bad about spoiling.
My favourite anime, Scp-2000.
It's not an anime. It
is now.
Oh, wait. Hey, that's a great thing for the episode. Before we end off, you should tell us like a big secret about 5000 that people have been wondering.
Okay, so with Scp-2000, the title, I'm sure you've seen the title, is Why? And there's been a lot of theories thrown out about that. So I feel like, just as a fucking apologies for how fast this fucking episode was, I have to answer the question of why. And the reason why was